Story 1. I'd pick Italy hands down. Pasta, pizza, gelato, risotto. I never get bored with those flavors, and you can keep it simple or go full gourmet. Story 2. Greek food is delicious. Gyros, Greek chicken, feta fries, hummus, and so on. Now I am hungry and want it for lunch today. Story 3. Japan offers the best balance of healthy everyday food, indulgent treats, and truly luxurious gastronomic delights. It works well for carnivores, vegetarians, people who need gluten-free options, and more. Story 4. I ate Korean food every day while growing up. Now that I am married, we do not eat it as often, but I still crave it frequently, laughing out loud. Story 5. Thai food. I grew up in Los Angeles and we would go to a place called Taparad. The exotic tastes enthralled me. Story 6. If it is just food from any restaurant in a country and I do not have to consider prices, it is easily the United States for me. If it has to be what we define as the native cuisine, it would probably be Japan. Story 7. England. If I had to wait for it to be delivered from abroad, I would probably die. Story 8. I like anything Mediterranean. If I have to pick a country, probably Greece or Turkey. Story 9. I love Germany. My grandmother is German, and her food is my favorite. Story 10. Probably China. There is a wide selection there, and I can actually eat it. I have severe lactose intolerance. I envy those who can risk it because I certainly cannot. Story 11. I think the United States, because its many climates and microclimates allow you to get almost any kind of food imaginable, providing the greatest options and variety. Story 12. Come on, people. Peruvian. So much variety. All of it is fantastic. Story 13. In America, we have it all. Italian, Mexican, Chinese, Thai, Indian, English, Irish, and many others. It's not the melting pot for nothing, no matter who wants to deny it. Story 14. Mexico, hands down. My favorite cuisine ever. I would die without it. Story 15. India. I can live my life well without having to travel to Europe for my food choices. It will serve me just fine. For those who think India's cuisine is purely vegetarian, think again because it is not. Story 16. I love the Americanized version of Chinese food. There are so many different dishes, and they are delicious. I could eat a new dish at every meal and never get tired because they are so varied. Story 17. Many people are suggesting Mexico or Italy, which I agree with. Greece or Japan could work as well. Story 18. Italian, French, or Chinese offer a wide variety of delicious dishes that I enjoy and will eat. I would pick Danish, but honestly our food is not as varied, and I do not want to live on pork and potatoes for the rest of my life. Story 19. I could absolutely eat Indian food every day for the rest of my life. Story 20. My country is Portugal. We have many different dishes, all full of flavor. If I had to choose another country, I would choose Italy. Story 21. Am I also immune to weight gain? If so, then it is Italy for sure. Story 22. I imagine Italy will be the destination for many people. Excellent food. Story 23. I like olives, feta cheese, octopus, and pistachios, so I think Greek cuisine suits me. Story 24. Something Mediterranean. Maybe Spain or Greece. Who knows? Story 25. Scotland. The food is terrible, but when you are eating square sausages and black pudding with other Scots, the meal and the banter become excellent. Story 26. Pizza, pasta, risotto, ciabatta, focaccia, gelato e non dimentichiamo il tiramisù e I cannoli. Story 27. To be honest, the United States of America is my choice, not because of originality, but because you can eat every other country's food there. Story 28. If you combine American Chinese recipes with pizza, pasta, and so on, it would be American all the way. Traditional Italian is a lot different from American Italian. Story 29. China. Meat with rice and noodles, soup, vegetables, fruit. I'm good. Story 30. Cheat code. Pick Britain. We have food from everywhere. Story 31. Can I pick the United States? We're just a mishmash of the world's cuisines. I get to eat whitewashed versions of any dish from any country without having to pick one. But if I had to pick, I'd say Iran. Story 32. I'm going American, assuming that includes all the bastardized cuisines that started here. I'm actually not sure what indigenous dishes taste like, but I love Tex-Mex, American Chinese, American Italian, and barbecue and cookout foods. I can't discount Cajun cuisine either. I'm missing many, but I'd argue the United States has altered many other countries' cuisines to the point that they have become their own thing. Story 33. I am Dominican. Our cuisine reflects influences from across South America, and we eat rice and many Asian dishes. Story 34. Poutine would shorten my life significantly, but I'd still eat it. It has protein, a ton of fat, and carbohydrates. Yes. Story 35. Afghan-influenced Pakistani food. It's basically Turkish with much better flavors. Story 36. Thai cuisine is a great mix of noodles and spices, with meat and seafood used sparingly, complemented by light salads. It would be a fine lifelong diet. Story 37. India offers so much variety and all levels of spice. Curries, breads, dumplings, fried snacks, and cooling drinks. Just brilliant. Story 38. Mexican or Thai? It is a difficult question. Thai has curry dishes and excellent soups. Mexican has tamales, amazing soups, and chiles rellenos. Mexican. Final answer. Story 39. Anything Arabic. Its cuisine encompasses many countries. My favorite by far. Story 40. China. People in the West have a narrow view of Chinese food. Story 41. If I could eat food from only one country for the rest of my life, I would probably eat a bullet. Story 42. I choose Mexican food because it has nutritious beans, avocados, and amazing flavors. I need my 25 grams of fiber. Story 43. Probably Italian pasta, pizza, fresh vegetables, cheeses, seafood, gelato. It's comforting, versatile, and full of flavor. It's hard to get bored. Story 44. Chinese food varies by province. Each province has a different style of cuisine, so there is no shortage of choices. Story 45. I am an oddball. My favorite food is potatoes. My Irish genes are strong. I am a cheap date laughing out loud. Story 46. Nepali cuisine every day. The ultimate melting point of two of the world's greatest cuisines, Indian and Chinese. Story 47. In Japan, a pescatarian diet is a very healthy way to live and I enjoy it. Story 48. La seule cuisine qui me vient à l'esprit comme complète. Plat savoureux, salade, viande, poisson, pain, fromage, vin et dessert, il y a tout. J'aime aller dans des restaurants indiens, mexicains ou japonais, mais je dois admettre que j'ai tendance à choisir toujours les mêmes plats. J'y mangerai tous les jours. Mais je comprends que d'autres personnes adorent ces cuisines, à chacun son goût. Story 49. Bangladesh has excellent cuisine. It uses spices skillfully, and its fish dishes and desserts are outstanding. Its biryani is especially notable. Story 50. It must be Malaysian food. It offers Indian, Malay, and Chinese cuisine together. Story 51. The Philippines is an easy choice. It has a Southeast Asian base with dishes influenced by China, the United States, and Spain. There is nothing like dinuguan, adobo, champorado, balut, or sinigang. You can get Jollibee or Max's for fried chicken. Lumpia is definitely my favorite spring roll variant. If you argue that colonization means certain dishes should not count as native, remember that potatoes and tomatoes are native to the Americas. Italian and Irish cuisines would lack them otherwise. Story 52. Korean food. I grew up eating it. I love other cuisines, but I always fall back to it. It is what I crave most. Story 53. It was probably Korean. When I worked for a Korean tea firm in high school, I was served a traditional Korean meal every day for lunch. It was phenomenal. I stayed in great shape because the meals included many vegetables. Story 54. I am biased. Mexican food is the best cuisine in the world. Story 55. Greece is the best and freshest. You follow the Mediterranean diet. Story 56. Raw ingredients or dish inventions? America, hands down. Half the foods people think of as foreign were actually invented in the United States. Many people do not get what they expect when they try these dishes. American food is top food, we just refer to dishes by ethnic group. Story 57. United Kingdom. Nothing makes me happier than a pile of meat, cheese, and berries on the side. I shall eat like a medieval king and develop gout. Story 58. Vietnam. Even if you are vegetarian, the food is so good. Story 59. Do you consider foods like Tex-Mex and American Chinese to be American? Story 60. Definitely Japan. You can eat it without being afraid of getting a heart attack, and you'll get vegetables and meat. Perfect balance. Story 61. Is American food essentially every kind? So then that. Story 62. China has more variety than the rest of the world combined. Story 63. 100% United States of America. New York treats, Las Vegas buffets, burgers, hot dogs, Chinatown, and Hispanic food. Story 64. I have not seen any comments from Portugal yet. You are missing out. Story 65. I would choose Indonesian. I love sambal. Say it with grilled meats, gado-gado, soto ayam, Balinese roast pork, and a crunchy element that is a chef's kiss. Finish it off with martabak manis. Story 66. As much as I love Mexican food, I have to go with Italian cuisine. Italian pastas, pizzas, and cheeses cannot be beaten. Story 67. Japanese or Thai cuisine. Meats, vegetables, and fish. Desserts, liquor and beer, buns, bread, and noodles. Sauces, soups, stews, and gravies. I don't think I'll be bored, and there are healthy options as well as decadent ones. Story 68. Spain. Topos, seafood, paella, Ibrianhom, manchego cheese. Story 69. Emilia-Romagna, Italy. Each country has diverse regional cuisines. Story 70. I find it impossible to decide between India and Italy. Story 71. American food has its own versions of dishes from other countries. Story 72. Turkey has a little bit of every surrounding region, the Mediterranean, the Middle East, the Balkans, and our own. Story 73. I split my time between Japan and Italy, so I think I am already halfway there and in a situation where I cannot lose. Story 74. In Portugal, what they do with seafood and meat is so Moorish, especially away from the tourist areas. They add vegetables and pulses, and you wash it all down with a decent wine. My favorite snack, not a meal, is a tosta mista with vinho verde, a light still or sparkling wine. Story 75. America is home to virtually every ethnic cuisine in the world. Story 76. Vietnam. I will miss the cheese dearly, but banh mi, noodles, vegetables, and tofu are all balanced and tasty. Story 77. Italy. Pasta, pizza, focaccia, and gnocchi. Who needs more? Story 78. Persian food all the way. There are so many dishes that I would never grow tired of or find repetitive. Story 79. Europe. Just kidding. I know it is not a country. Seriously, I would pick Asia. Story 80. Korea. Unlimited meat. Or America. You said country, not state. If I want to be a fat ass, I could just say America and gorge myself on cheese and meat alike. Story 81. You could say a country has the worst food on the planet and no one would downvote you, but if you say the United States, expect to be downvoted. This says a lot about Reddit in general. Story 82. In Canada, you can find a variety of North American and international foods. For traditional cuisine, France. Story 83. Jamaica. If you know, you know. Usain Bolt and Sean Paul, among others, carry their own chefs because nothing compares to Jamaican food. There is no such thing as American cuisine here unless you are talking about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I have traveled to try many dishes. Italian, delicious. United Kingdom, bland. Other European cuisine often features plain white chicken, which will not work for me. Greek, excellent. Mexican, spicy. But spicy does not always mean flavorful. Even Ital, no added salt. Food in Jamaica is flavorful. My friends from Japan have shared their cooking with me, and it was good too. Chinese and Indian people are here as well. We are a huge melting pot of goodness. But if a grandmother from the countryside feeds you, you will not want to leave. Story 84. Japanese people are excellent at preparing a wide variety of delicious dishes. Story 85. Australia is less hassle and more environmentally friendly when you eat local food. My favorite cuisine is Indian. Story 86. Probably the United States. You have brisket, ribs and other barbecue dishes, great steaks, burgers, pizza, Tex-Mex cuisine, amazing lobster, crab and fish, fried chicken, chowder, cornbread, pancakes and waffles. Lots of variety. Story 87. Indian and Italian cuisines both have good, fresh flavors, a pleasing flavor profile, and often use ingredients thoughtfully. Indian cuisine offers excellent spices and depth of flavor, while Italian cuisine often favors simplicity, using a handful of perfect ingredients. Story 88. Malaysia has rice, noodles, roti, tepung, ace kacang, durians, and a wealth of tropical fruits. I could probably eat char kway teow every morning. It is a no-brainer. Story 89. I have traveled widely, but I recently holidayed in China, and it was the best food experience I have ever had. Story 90. The United States has many foods thanks to immigrants who created original dishes using ingredients they could not obtain in their home countries. Story 91. Mexican food would carry me through life happily. There is so much variety. Story 92. I think the discussion could go on. Mexico has so much coastline and so much seafood that people don't realize, and that goes for almost any other country around the world. We probably know very little about them. It just depends on your tastes and what you've been exposed to. I want to make sure he is coming, but there is so much more out there. Story 93. American. Some people say food made here isn't authentic, but those dishes are available. Story 94. I have been fortunate to have friends whose parents came from all over the world, which gave me the opportunity to enjoy their home-cooked food. It is a hard choice between Korean and Vietnamese food. I later visited both countries, which made the decision even more difficult. Story 95. Americans have the best greasy diners, and after about 6 months I will book a visit with Dr. Now and appear on the television show My 600-Pound Life. Story 96. Malaysia has strong Chinese, Indian, and Malay influences. Story 97. United States. Maybe it is appreciation, or adoption. It could also be our 340 million people. You can find nearly the best of everything here. If that was not an option, I would probably go for French, Italian, or Lebanese. Story 98. That depends. If I choose American, would it cover the versions of ethnic foods here that only vaguely resemble the dishes from the referenced countries? Story 99. I do not know which specific Middle Eastern country, but whoever makes shawarma is hilarious. Story 100. I wish I had more experience with food from other countries. I like Mexican and Thai food, but that is based on the one nearby restaurant that serves those cuisines. Story 101. India is a large country. Indian cuisine includes many different regional styles. The fact that it is all very tasty is helpful. Story 102. Probably England, because if it came from anywhere else, it would take too long and be cold, stale, or at worst moldy. Story 103. In Canada, we are so diverse. There is no type of food you cannot get. Story 104. Italy. I love real wood-fired pizza and handmade pasta. My second choice is Mexico. Story 105. I am half Greek and live in England. I cook Greek food at least 80% of the time. Story 106. I cannot watch Kimchi Nation without feeling immense jealousy, because I am living in the United States. Story 107. Honestly, it is hard to choose. At first I wanted Vietnamese, but I also want Thai or Lao. Story 108. I have often said I would be perfectly happy eating just 3 kinds of food for the rest of my life: Greek, Italian, and Japanese. But if forced to choose only one, I would choose Japanese. Story 109. The United States offers the best elements of many cultures and countries. Story 110. Scottish. It's the deep-fried capital of the world. Imagine a doner kebab with salad, chili sauce, mint sauce, garlic sauce, and coleslaw, dumped in batter and fried in 3-month-old oil. A coronary to go. Story 111. The choice would have to be Thai, not only delicious but good for you. Story 112. Italian. It is diverse, nice, comforting, and bold. I would die happy. Story 113. I am originally Italian, so that would be my heaven. Story 114. I love Japan. I enjoy eating and will try anything once. Japanese food is generally on the healthier side, too. Story 115. Italy. Mostly Mediterranean-style food, but also pizza, ice cream, pasta, and wine. I could not live without pesto. I am obsessed. Story 116. India. I love Indian food. I wouldn't have any issue with that, although I would miss some things. Story 117. Thai is my favorite, with Indian and Mexican a close second and third. I picked Thai because there is a wide range of Thai dishes and they are all very good. Story 118. United States of America because it is a melting pot so I can have a wide variety. Story 119. My uncle, who recently passed in his 90s, traveled the world for decades and lived in many places. When asked which country had the best food, he said Pakistan, hands down. Story 120. I am Mexican American. I grew up on Mexican food. Story 121. Portuguese food is great, but Mexican and Italian cuisines are pretty good too. Story 122. I would go with the United States. Texas barbecue, Kansas City barbecue, Montana beef, soul food, Cajun cuisine, New England clam chowder, Maryland crab, Alaskan king crab, Maine lobster, and buffalo-style chicken wings. Story 123. Most definitely French. From Mediterranean cuisine with Italian and Greek influences to comforting, high-quality meat products and, of course, fish and seafood, France has 5,500 kilometers of coastline and 14,500 kilometers in overseas territories. There is great bread, cheese, wine, and an extremely rich variety of regional dishes. It would take longer than a lifetime to discover it all. Nutritionally, it is very balanced with a good mix of protein, fats, fiber, and carbohydrates. Story 124. Are you asking about local, traditional cuisine or just food available in this country? The latter is Singapore. There are choices aplenty from all over the world unless you want chewing gum. If I had to choose local food, I would simply move back home. Nestled between 3 countries and connected to others by waterways, Singapore offers a very wide variety. Story 125. The United States. Not just because of the great variety. I live there and would not want 100% of my food shipped from elsewhere. I want my milk, eggs, meat, vegetables, and other staples to travel as little as possible. Some items are simply best in class. Washington cherries and apples, Walla Walla onions, Oregon blueberries, and Texas grapefruit. Story 126. I prefer the United States of America for a couple of reasons. 1. Eating local. I live in the United States and I can get a huge variety of food types grown or raised within United States boundaries. I can get many different foods grown in Oregon, where I live. 2. Diversity of cuisine. A case can be made for Americanized Italian and Chinese food being uniquely American, but even without that there is a huge diversity of foods, including Cajun food, Tex-Mex and general Southwest cuisine, multiple iterations of barbecue, seafood common to New England, casseroles and similar dishes from the Midwest, Pacific Northwest cuisine, and I am sure I am missing a number of examples. This does not even include classics like hamburgers and hot dogs. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.